Port of Miami 2 by Rick Ross. Rick Ross has been working hard to get Port of Miami 2 done. His last album was received well, but didn't seem to have the same slow burn as Ross is used to. With Port of Miami being a sequel, does Ross take it back to his roots or give us something new? How do we feel about it? Here's our honest review of Port of Miami 2 by Rick Ross.
Port of Miami 2.
Rose.
Big time. Yeah, man. Port of Miami 2. I was actually looking forward to this new album from Rick Ross because I think Rick Ross has one of the more solid, like album lists that he has, discographies in hip hop as far as like his collection of music goes. How you feel about this album artwork, man?
I thought it was pretty dope, man. I like the font a lot. I don't know what it is, just how it's all stylized, but I like the font. And I feel like every time he does a little praying pose, that's like the icy album artwork is just like, yeah, this is it. But I feel like that's a staple, man.
Yeah, man, the album artwork is actually pretty dope. You can see the Port of Miami in the background. You know, like you said, everything else is pretty dope. The font is dope. I like how you can see the face tattoos that he has right here, the charm that he has. I don't know who that is in the picture, but it's a cool album artwork. The flow of this project, man, unfortunately, it follows the same flow that you would normally get from a Rick Ross album just in 2019. And what I mean by that is like you don't get the super luxury sound that you would get from back in the days, in my opinion, with the production. Like the production back then, and most Rick Ross albums that I love, it always comes off as super luxury rap. But I felt like the production didn't do that this time. But it still got that same vibe with the flow, like the luxury rap.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about it like that. But yeah, this is basically what you used to, the Ross, over some just like, I guess you would say, in that respect, more hard-hitting beats, like more amped-up energy. That's what you're going to get out of this.
Highlights, man. Look, I got a couple highlights, yo. Act the Fool, Wale's verse on that joint was crazy, man. I love Wale's verse on there. See, what is it called? Turnpike Ike. Turnpike Ike, I thought that actually was pretty dope. This is like one of those joints that you can find a song like this on almost every Rick Ross project where he has a song that kind of just goes and vibes just like this. Bogus Charms featuring Meek Mill, I thought that was fire. Big Time, I thought Big Time was dope. I felt like the hook went on entirely too long.
Big Time.
He just got to the point where he was just yelling anything and yelling big time. That's some Swiss Beats type stuff right there. I wish he didn't do that. But when he got to the verses, the two verses was fire. I just wish the hook would have just stayed 8 bars, 16 bars, whatever.
Right.
Just don't keep yelling stuff and saying big time at the end of it and having Swiss in the background. Anyway, Rich Nigga Lifestyle featuring Nipsey Hussle and Tiana Taylor. This is one of my favorite songs on the project, man. I love Nipsey calling out Tekashi 6ix9ine. We weren't rocking with the dude
like,
anyway.
y'all surprised?
Yeah, I know, exactly, man. You surprised? Anyway, yeah, that song is fire. Tiana Taylor is still out here killing shit. I Still Pray featuring YFN Lucci and Ball Greasy, man. I thought that was dope. One of the doper verses you got from Ross, talking about, some of the issues and complications that he had with, his heart condition. Thought that was fire. Running the Streets, I thought that was actually, I don't like the hook, but aside from that, I thought A Boogie did his thing. I thought it was super dope that he gave Denzel Curry a look on a higher platform.
Yeah.
Denzel came through and did his thing. God Rose, Gold Rose featuring Drake, fire. Drake just wanted to remind people that he can rap, for real, for real. Maybach Music 6, I want to say how I felt when I first listened to it. So when it came on, I was just like, this is the type of beat I expect. This is the Justice League. This joint is fire. But Rick Ross, I was just like, all right, you rapping too long, bro. And earlier that day, they didn't have any names on it. So I was just like, I know you ain't on the song by yourself, And then when I heard Wayne come in, I kind of smiled. I was like, yeah, that's what's up. And then once Wayne was done, I was just like, ain't nobody else.
That's it.
Come to find out, this is the song that he teased, that Pusha T's verse was part of. I actually looked up Pusha T's verse. Pusha T smoked it, killed it, would have destroyed everybody else on the song. Probably would have hurt his friendship with Drake, possibly. I understand why the song wasn't put up there. I think it's whack for him to publicity on it to amp it up.
Yeah.
Like before the album came out, like I got this song with Pusha and Wayne. I just don't know if it's a good time to put it out. Don't say it then. No, just don't put it out.
Right.
I ended up thinking the song's actually cool. In Vegas Residency, I actually thought the beat was ridiculous, but I'm not a hugely fan of the lyrics because this is typical standard Rick Ross stuff on the song.
Yeah, man. Turnpike Ike, I thought was just crazy, man. That's one of those Rick Ross songs where you just like, yo, his flow is undeniable. The production is hitting, and I just loved everything about that one. Summer Rain, I actually enjoyed that one with Summer Walker. I thought it was pretty dope.
What's that SWV sample?
Yeah, the sample is fire. And I was just like, yo, this is it. Big Time, I thought was really, really dope just to hear, you know, like Just Blaze beat and just hear the amped energy over it. Like anytime you get Ross yelling, like you can feel he's turning up. So I like that energy that he gives off. But I ain't need Swiss on there. But that's just personally for me. Bogus Charms was really, really dope. I just love the whole vibe. Every time Rick and Meek get on something, it's certified to be dope. Rich Nigga Lifestyle I thought was amazing. Nipsey delivered a dope ass verse. Rick, yeah, he went off on that one. I thought it was dope. And Tiana Taylor was just the icing on the cake. It was perfectly put together. I Still Pray really surprised me because I'm not the biggest fan of Lucci and Ball Greasy, but they sounded amazing on it. It was just a really, really dope song. And I came away like, yo, this is actually something I would go back to and listen to. Running the Streets, man, just to hear Denzel Curry on that just put a smile on my face. I was just like, yo, this is really, really dope. I'm glad he's got put on this. Really, really dope. And Go Roses is pretty dope, man. I ain't gonna lie. You know, Drake, I know Drake can rap, but just to hear him rap like that, like when he made the whole Kevin Durant Achilles line and everything like that, I was just like, yo, that was a dope ass bar. So yeah, it was a really dope song.
Lowlights, man. Look, Lowlights for me, nobody's favorite, featuring Gunplay. Horrible beat.
Yes.
Didn't care about the verses. Typical standard Ross right here. Summer Rain. I thought Summer Walker did a bad job of singing on this.
Oh. Okay.
Her project is great.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that? Her project is great. Summer Walker is a great singer. This song, it didn't work for me.
Okay.
I just thought that she didn't sing well because she sung in like the deeper tone. I wasn't rocking with it. The SWV song is sung so well, and that didn't do Rain Down on me any justice.
Oh, okay.
So what else we got? Born to Kill featuring Jeezy. Jeezy's verse, booty cheeks, not feeling it. Go somewhere with that. Sounds like Jeezy really does need to retire. I hope his album is good, but this was bad. Not feeling it. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for Lowlights for me.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and White Lines featuring Dej Loaf.
Thought you was gonna
I forgot to mention. I actually enjoyed that song.
Really?
I just wish Dej Loaf would actually rap on it, but I actually was rocking with that. But yeah, I wasn't feeling nobody's favorite, and Born to Kill. Those two were just like, man, come on, man. Like, you can't do something better than that.
Yeah.
Oh, and Fascinated, too. My bad. I almost forgot that. Fascinated was not good either. It sounded like, Rich Niggas on Nipsey Hussle CD.
Yeah.
It kind of had that vibe to me where he just kept saying nigga after everything.
Yeah, you're right.
And I was just like, did he just finish listening to Nipsey when he did this?
He might have. He must have been on the vibe. Well, starting with Act the Fool for the album was a big no for me. I love Wale's verse. I like Ross's energy on it, but
that's not a good way to start the album.
It's not a good way. Like, I was just like, you starting with this? I'm not with that. Nobody's favorite. I can skip that all the time. I'm just being real. White Lines. Oh my God, I was not feeling that at all. I didn't like it. It was just trash to me. Born to Kill. Skip. I don't even need to listen to it. Fascinated was just repetitive. Vegas Residency, like you said, it had a dope beat, but just the typical Ross formula. And Maybach Music's 6, it was cool. Maybe I need to hear that Pusha T verse, but I thought it was just cool. I like, John Legend on the hook and everything like that, but it was straight. But yeah, other than that, White Lines and Fascinated, yeah, I just couldn't deal with it.
Final thoughts, man. Look, at the end of the day, like I said, man, I like luxury drug rap Rick Ross. And I felt like he missed it on the luxury sounding beats. For that you need more Justice League. You know what I'm saying? You need more of The Incredibles. You need like those producers that you were working with, man. Cool and Dre, like that was the luxury drug rap joint where I feel like I'm riding in a Maybach listening to some rich nigga talk about selling drugs. Like that was like the appeal of Rick Ross to me. I don't want to hear like trap Rick Ross all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like Jake One did a did a good job with the Turnpike Ike, but it don't get the luxury vibe to it. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, I felt like Maybach Music 6 might be the worst Maybach music that he's done. Like when you go down and listen to it, the first one had Hove on it. The second one had Kanye, T.I. wasn't on that one. That was the third one I think T.I. was on. Wayne, Ye, T-Pain. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like John Legend's been on a couple of them. But this joint, without the Pusha T verse, just feels like another song over a fire Justice League beat. And I just feel like Ross kind of missed the mark. Like, I felt like this joint could have been epic, and it ended up not being an epic album to me. I went into it with a lot of hype, and I ain't gonna lie, I was somewhat disappointed when I was listening to it. Like, man, like, this is not the vibe I thought we was getting. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is gonna fall on a lower spectrum of his albums. Like, this is definitely not gonna be like one of his top 4 or 5 albums.
Well, coming away from this, I always feel like Ross brings a lot of the production to the table, and that's what I come around like. Every time I hear a Ross project, I'm guaranteed to get some dope production, and I got it with this one. Maybe not as much as the luxury drug rap production and everything like that, but I feel all the production. My taste with Ross is just the fact that his flow and rap is just usually always similar. It kind of goes in one ear and out the other. I mean, don't get me wrong, he has some dope bars here and there like that, but usually I just come away with the production and how he raps on the song. And I thought he did a pretty dope job keeping you invested in his sound and everything on this album. I wonder how the fans feel, how this compares to Port of Miami 1 and everything like that. I'm not the biggest Rick Ross fan, so y'all tell me how that compares. But I thought it was a decent project.
Final grade, man. Look, Rick Ross is getting a dash for me. Like I said, missed opportunity from Ross right here to smash it, knock it out the park. We've only gotten so many hip-hop albums this year that have been straight fire, especially from the big dogs. I don't feel like we've gotten a dope album from the big dogs. Like, I feel like it's all been up-and-coming rappers that have been doing a thing, man. YB and Cordae might have the best hip-hop album so far this year. Osmond Benjamin's joint is fire. Rick Ross is one of the joints to me that's going to kind of be like forgotten by the end of the year, especially if, the rumors are true about some of the artists that's going to be dropping before the year's out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking forward to Big Sean dropping soon, rap dropping soon. Like, there's some names that's dropping that I'm expecting straight fire from, like I was expecting from Ross here. And like, he kind of let me down a little bit with this joint, man. I still rock with Ross, but I don't know how much I'll listen to this joint after it's over. We didn't get one of those fire 16 is enough joints and, BMFs or super high, or you know what I'm saying?
Or
like
Aston Martin music.
That's what I'm talking about, where you got the saxophones and like he got the horns on a couple, man. But when you add the saxophone, you putting it on another level. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody else is doing that. Having saxophones on their tracks. Nobody's hitting up Masego like, yo, can you play on this to put me on that next level? So it's like Rick Ross had that whole part of the map covered, and it's like he's kind of coming out to what other people's sound is and trying to make it sound more, I guess, viable for this time period, and it's not working for me.
Yeah, like I said, I love production and everything like that when it comes to Rick Ross albums. But when it comes to just, his lyrics and his wordplay and cadence, it just doesn't hook me enough. So even though I liked a lot of the songs, I can't give it a check. I got to give it a dash. It's just because I didn't come away hooked from Ross. I came away hooked with the production. And that's really all it was for me. I still think he has some dope songs on here that can probably do a little bit of runs and everything like that. But it just didn't do enough for me to just say, give it a full-on check. So